one.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to some Potterthon. And today we are having HP2 PS2 Any percent. The cool runner of wheezus is gonna show us all of this game. But yeah, so first of all, wheezus, hello. If you have something to say real quick.
Something?
Uh, Great start, Wars. Great intro. Kick W. But before we start, I would like to say just a small thing. Because Wario just donated us $28, $3 for each individual year I beat someone in, and $5 for the 2 people I beat in 90%. Targeting some flaw-made cosplay for 1 PC. 80%. Great. Gorgeous. Thanks everyone again for donating. Again, who doesn't know, all the donations goes directly to Travel Project, and of course, yeah, thanks so much, Dina, because we are barely hitting $400 and we have actually a milestone close to it. If I recall, it's 420. So we are getting really close to this milestone. Oh yeah, 433, I'm sorry. But yeah, the milestone of beating up the Potterthon 8 is going close. Great to see. Anyway, back to our runner. I'm sorry we took a little bit of your time, but can you tell about yourself something?
I'm a Canadian. I've been running Harry Potter for probably about 6 months now. No, we didn't want the intro to start. I've been playing Harry Potter games since I was a kid, like most people here, probably. But I started with Chamber of Secrets, which is what we're doing today. We're doing a PS2 Any percent run, which has a skip that lets you basically skip the entire game. But for the sake of time and not having to look at loading screens for half an hour, we will be skipping most of that, and I will be showing off that particular glitch / skip at the last part that we do it. And yeah, I know that wasn't really an introduction of myself, but hey, did I do it? We're ready to start.
So yeah, yeah. So as always, please tell us when to start the timer, and we'll start this cool show off.
Okay. Alright, as long as the intro cutscene doesn't start again. And start on 3, 2, 1, and there we go.
Good luck, good luck. What else can I say?
I've been practicing this so much over the last few months. My main goal when I started running this was to beat Nixo, and my emulator time did beat Nixo, which I was really happy about. And so much so that I bragged to him once I did it. Yeah, this is pretty much all loading screens. So I'm gonna come up with stuff to say. So this first part, there's like a lot of differences. Like when you look at the GameCube and PS2 versions, for those of you that aren't familiar with the individual versions, the GameCube version is really polished. So on this version, specifically, you can skip Braun making a pun. On the GameCube, it's actually part of the main cutscene. I'll show it more once we get past this cutscene, but you'll kind of hear it when we get to it. So you see here, so the first thing we usually do here is go for the jar. I usually like the target because I feel safer doing it. But you'll hear there that Ron says that was truly smashing. Now on the GameCube version, that's part of the full cutscene. You want to go for that first, because otherwise if you hit the, I guess the big thing, the thing that goes up, if you hit that first and then hit the jar, it'll actually show a cutscene of Ron saying that. So next here we'll have, we're going to go attack some gnomes, which are actually a lot more jerky in the books. They like to tell you off and everything. Not so much in this. They more so make the sounds. I like to call them little potato gremlins. So next up we have a boss battle with a washing machine, of all things. So one thing about the bosses in this game is you can actually hit them multiple times. Now, we don't have that many boss fights in this per se, with this run, but basically if you spam Flipendo when... So in this case, the door will open, that's when we're able to attack. If we spam it, we actually do more damage than we were supposed to, because we would have maybe done like a quarter of damage there if we just done one Flipendo. And then one way to kind of get the door to open early too, if it's not doing like that, is it'll come and attack you, and every time it attacks you, the door will open because it's laughing, because it doesn't like you, and it's very mean for an inanimate
May I
object.
get a real small question real quick?
Yep.
Are we playing on console or on emo?
Oh, we're playing on
If
console.
it's not, of course, a secret. Oh, okay, thank you so much for telling. I was a little bit confused here if we are on emo or on an actual console.
Yeah, I know. So I prefer doing
yeah.
console runs. So
I mean, that's understandable. Question is, are there any difference between console and emo? Emulation?
it's really just load times, to be honest. I mean, I find playing on emulator a little bit smoother, but this version of the game wasn't really that well optimized performance-wise. So I noticed even when I was practicing with the emulator a couple hours ago, I was having slowdowns. So
Also, a small request. Will you be able to check on the audio during the loading screen? Please. It looks like we're having some audio issues right now.
It's echoing, basically. I think there's two sound devices set up on OBS, basically. So if you got application audio, just kill that. You'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Dina.
No worries.
I think it's because
yeah. Or you could have done this during the load screen, so not really having a lot of issues, but Mr. Techman is speaking in my ear.
Try to do this everything as soon as possible. So this part we're looking for gnomes for whatever reason they're not showing up. Did we already break the game? I think I already broke the game. I think the game just broke itself. I think the game just broke itself. There's no gnomes. I've never had that happen before.
Are we having for a soft lock?
I think we just got soft locked for some reason. That's the first time that's actually happened.
Please. Gnome, please.
Please let me throw it. That's weird. Okay.
Well,
maybe I'll try. I'll try a save and try to save this. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll try that. Opium. How many, by the way, soft logs did we have during this event so far? Is this the first one?
This is the first one.
No, we had one in the last run.
Oh, jeez, so sad. But I mean, you're the second one having soft logs. Congrats. That's cool. Soft locking is still fun, I guess. And by the way, while we are having some, I guess, issues again, I'd like to make a small self-promotion, and by that I mean promoting Potterthon. So, as always, if you want to check out our previous events like Potterthon 9 or Pottergon, always exclamation mark YouTube socials, because you can find all of the runs that were done before. and of course sorted out by playlists. So check them out if you're of course interested. That's it for self-promotions. Giving up to you again some speaking.
Oh, finally, they're finally appearing.
Yay, we didn't soft lock.
These little buggers are actually showing up. So, one thing I've noticed lately while running is that if you kind of like throw them off to the side there, normally when you're throwing them, just like the camera will follow them. Not if you throw them there, not if you throw them to the side. So it kind of just allows you to kind of just like run back faster. So like normally that's what would happen. So once we're on, so the next gnome we're gonna be like about a quarter bar. So once we throw that last gnome, we're actually gonna make a save, and we're gonna set up what's called the end day skip. But first we're gonna get attacked by a gnome because Harry has the reaction time of a walrus. So right here I'm gonna make a save. There we go. So I almost saved at the wrong spot. So I'm going to go into more detail when we actually do the skip, but right now what we're going to do is this actually helps us skip a cutscene. All the cutscenes are unskippable except for the intro cutscene. They get like the little thing when you start the game up. So when you quit and load, you skip the cutscene, but you also get access to the end day, which is basically how you progress through the game through the levels. Once again, I'll explain it better once we get to it. But yeah, basically we'll just skip the cutscene or skip that cutscene, then we'll have like another cutscene right after it, which is a lot longer. But yeah. It's funny, I actually just recently listened to the audiobook, so it's kind of like, getting to see all the little like things that were in the books that are referenced in the games.
And when he scattered the powder into the fireplace, he immediately swallowed a lot of hot ash.
So there is one skip that we won't be doing that a lot of runners do, or some runners do for PS2, which I call the Borg and Burke skip. And it basically allows you to skip pretty much the entirety of Borg and Burke's. However, I haven't been able to get that skip. I've only been able to do that skip at least once, and that was through setting up a save state and emulator and constantly refreshing that save state. It is not a fun one to do, and my brother's computer monitor might have nearly been broken with me trying to attempt that. Actually. But it's a very frustrating skip to do. However, we will be doing the sickle skip. There is one bit of tech with this that we do. I don't know, it's a technical term to use. But basically, when you go and select spells on the PS2 version, there's actually a little loading screen when you come out of the menu. But you can still move around during that. So you usually use that to skip cutscene triggers. So the two ones that we normally do is for when Mrs. Weasley gives you a sickle, and then there's a specific part at the end, about halfway through the Whomping Willow, that you do to skip the Bowtruckle fight there. It's missing a bit of the chat there.
Correct. I'll expect you tomorrow at the manor to pick them up. Good day. Good day.
And one thing I noticed practicing these speedruns a lot is you tend to start memorizing the lines and the voices, and you start doing them in your head. Several times I've done just the individual voices, although I recently found out that both Snape and Malfoy are voiced by the same person. Lucius Malfoy. It's kind of funny to hear that. It's funny how they reuse a lot of the voice actors in this game, in like this series, for like completely different characters. So here I'll show a little bit what the lag skip is. So I'm gonna select Lumos. I'm gonna come back out of here, and then we get a loading screen. So that's how we typically use for lag skips. And here you don't really need to do. So these walls here, Lumos walls, you don't actually need to do a full cast. You just need to do like, you know, just tap it. And then, yeah. So normally when you're playing through this part, normally you're going around trying to avoid the vases. What you actually just have to do is stay in the middle and then spam flipendo. Now, one thing I thought myself was, you know, why aren't, like, I'm spamming flipendo, but they're not jumping out. This part is entirely RNG, so, you know, if you're new running into this, don't worry. You're not doing anything wrong. That's what I thought I was doing wrong. It's all RNG. But, you know, just gotta hope. Hope that RNG likes you that day. Oh. Yeah, I love interacting with things and you grab the wrong thing by accident. To hit's not bad. I try my best, you know? Sometimes Harry needs to remember that blood, sweat, and tears is part of his life at this point. You can open it? Yeah, no, I just realized I can open that, actually. That's the first time I've ever had. We're all learning things together.
The more we leave, yeah, the more we leave, the more we learn. Isn't that true?
Exactly. Like,
exactly.
My Chamber of Secrets save that we're going to load up for the end day skip later was me trying to see if you can get to the Chamber of Secrets early. Now, I haven't found it, otherwise I would have done that. The whole thing with trying to find out how to enter Chamber early was because I don't play the game fully. You know, I kind of forget like how you enter certain areas. That was close for me falling off. Is me trying to figure out, you know, can I enter certain areas? So with Chamber, I'm trying to see if it was like through a cutscene or through in-game stuff they interact with the Chamber of Secrets. So that is why when we get to that part, that's why I'm in the chamber and not in the common room. So normally with the end day skip, you usually end up in the common room for the starter levels. In that case, we won't. And yeah. Yeah, this part is pretty much like it's funny because there's like certain parts in games where, like, you know, especially if it's like, alright, can't really do too many glitches, you're kind of just like on auto scroll at this point. I've had a few runs like that. HP6 is a particular favorite of mine to do that, because you're pretty much just following Nick around. But this one we're going to do our first lag skip, and we get to hear the best song in the series. Someone finally agrees with me. Diagon Alley, best song in the game. However, we're not actually going to hear it just yet. Gryffindor theme is also a gamble in Japes. Is it? Now listen. Diagon Alley is the best theme. That was actually, before I got back into playing the games, that was actually the one thing I would listen to. Okay, so if I don't mess up my placement here, we should be able to skip this cutscene, and we did it. This is something that I always say, like, all right, I'm not gonna mess this up, and then I end up messing it up. So this is what I call the sickle skip. For some reason, it didn't have a name before I started doing it, but basically right here is we're gonna do a lag skip here, and we're going to grab the sickle that normally we wouldn't be able to grab unless we had our upgrade spells. So we're going to make a save, and then we're going to quit here, and this basically just skips like a 2-minute cutscene. This is something you do a lot, and I think the real challenge with this speedrun isn't any of the skips, it's trying to remember whether you hit like the Hogwarts save or the Burrow save. Gotta find a way out of those barrels. Would be a nice time save. It would be, honestly. But even then, because we do load times removed for this, it's not really too much of a loss. In this case, we're doing RTA, but I just, honestly, my main curiosity when it comes to these kind of glitches is who found this stuff? Especially the end day skip. That is my real question: is who found this? Who was messing around with this game that much that they found that? That was Jake Dog and Blaze. I can see Blaze because Blaze runs this quite a bit. Alright, here comes another long cutscene.
Knowledge contained in this book, you'll be able to cast more powerful spells. Here's a helpful hint from the book, just for you. Build up the power on your wand and cast it when the spell is ready. But be careful. Don't overpower your spells, or you could end up in a spot of trouble.
Thanks very much.
So this is actually okay. So with the skip we just did, it actually makes this cutscene a little bit funny, because Jenny will not be present for most of it. Oh look, it's the same dialogue from one Xbox. Is it? Honestly, I haven't played a lot of Philosopher's Stone, and it's Philosophers, not Sorcerers. Also, yeah, because like Jenny just walks off, so like there's a close-up of her, and it's just going to show like just another storefront.
Where did you lose your things, Ginny? I think I dropped my brass scales when
Apparently Jenny is just invisible. She actually pickpocketed Harry's invisibility cloak. She's just ignoring us. She doesn't like us. She's too cool for us.
Ginny being too cool, I guess.
I mean, she does become a jock by like Half-Blood Prince, so I guess in a way, sort of. I don't know.
You're only gonna save your life later on. So true, Miney. So true.
Okay, so these barrels do respawn, so it kind of makes it just easy to get the sickles. So we usually get the first two here. So when we're grabbing Ginny's things, we're going first into the Leaky Cauldron, just because it's the closest, but it's also like it's a good way of like doing it. So you hit Leaky Cauldron, Gamble and Japes, and then the Magical Menagerie. Now I like to go and get the potion vial first. Doesn't really matter how you do it. I find I haven't really noticed a time difference. But what is important is getting those two barrels before you go into Leaky Cauldron and after you go into Leaky Cauldron, because they'll always have sickles no matter what. So this part on GameCube and Xbox does have a skip. That is possible on PS2 with a lag skip. However, it's very like frame perfect, and it's very easy to soft lock because of it. But typically we just play through this part normally. Yeah, ignore the imps though. So, yeah, it's just a lot of shimmying, which is This is the only long shimmy part that we have. We don't have to do the library, the restricted section, which anybody in the community knows is pretty much my bane of existence, or whatever the term is. The main reason that I run specifically the PS2 version is because I hate AV4s and I hate the library so much. Like, the first time I played Chamber of Secrets again, like, at least 15 years after, like, the last time I played it as a kid, when I got to AV4s and I was trying to do the jumping part, the camera didn't help, and I probably spent about an hour and a half trying to get past that part. Another part I found irritating was also in the restricted section, but it's also having to do with the ghost. Now, I don't remember how exactly it is on PS2, but on GameCube, Xbox is one of the few parts that actually has a fixed camera, which would help if the camera wasn't at a diagonal, like, angle. Diagon alley. You know, it's a pain in the butt. So that there's a couple moments on that version that makes me glad that we don't do it on PS2, because I definitely would not have the patience to do that. Anybody that does, you guys are definitely amazing speedrunners, and I commend you guys. Ladies and gents, not binary pals.
This is Gamble and Jakes, the wizarding joke shop.
Usually I get that in the first try. Usually I like to play it safe. So one thing for people that are new to speedrunning, as much as you want to be fast, taking your time with things is also a good way to be fast. Because if we do mess it up in the Magical Menagerie, I don't think we will. Basically, you only have, in the Magical Menagerie, you have to do barrels as well. But you can actually skip, like, you know, having to do all three, as long as you get the two, like, side by side. You can also skip the dialogue, so when the shopkeeper gets mad at you, it doesn't really make sense, because he didn't really tell you anything. But yeah, so we're going to go to the apothecary first, because that's usually how I do it. And then we're going to go to Magical Menagerie. You know what, Miney? I just realized that Nocturne Alley is nocturnally. I knew about Diagon Alley being diagonally, though. Actually, one thing I just found out regarding the movies was what Neville forgot in Philosopher's Stone. Which, as it turns out, that he forgot his robes, and I only that took me 20 years to realize. That just shows how well we pay attention as fans. Now, better speedrunners don't typically have to fill the file. However, I suck with the guide trashes, and I don't trust my ability with the guide trashes that we're going to be facing later on. So, I feel safer if I do fill the Wigging Well. Hopefully, if we do the skip correctly, which I was practicing before we started this, we won't have to do the imp or the Bowtruckle fight before it, but it's a good insurance plan. Once we get to the Whomping Willow fight, though, like, we're literally just sitting in a corner doing nothing. You know, while our best friend is being swung around violently, we're just sitting there and laughing, waiting for the danger to subside. So yeah, this is... I find this funny. Okay. Typically, he doesn't say that. If you don't go far enough and you hit the barrels, though, he won't say anything. So it makes this bit of dialogue right here just like a little bit out of the blue. Like, it's... You're being a jerk. You didn't tell me nothing. Here, I can understand his anger. But it's kind of funny, like, the glitches that, like, result as of speedrunning. Because it makes, like, certain things, like, not make sense. Oh. I accidentally set him off. Usually I don't set him off yet. Oh. We just got caught. So the great thing, like the one good thing about this with him is that nothing resets, so you can just sneak right past him. But that is actually the first time during a run that he's actually caught me. Oh, maybe let's make that twice. He's gonna feed me to the what? Flowers? Okay. See, all it took was one mess up and it just completely messed me up. Alright. There he is. See, I'm surprised he didn't see me just round the corner there. Just the marathon look. It's always the marathon look. Okay, so this is like probably like the last 15 minutes of game, like actual gameplay we have. So usually I have him over there. Oh no, he's coming over here. He just wants to be difficult today. I'm gonna miss you, actual gameplay. This is probably the only speedrun I know, apart from Laser Shoot Larry, where you're literally just sitting there just looking at loading screens. Which is funny, because with that other game, the first place speedrun is about 15 minutes, but like it's an hour, over an hour, real time. If you look through the video, it's all just loading screens. But we're here to talk about Harry Potter, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. Here we have the best song in the soundtrack, and I don't care what anybody says. But now we got about 2 long cutscenes.
Oh, Harry, you're so wonderful.
We didn't know how good we had it until it was late. Too late. Exactly. Exactly, because you thought you were playing a video game here. No, what you're actually playing is a loading screen simulator.
What do you mean you don't like loading screens? Hey, why are you poking me, buddy? I'm here.
What do you
I'm
mean?
just listening.
What do you mean? I spent $50 on this game.
What? I mean, I can say, of course, as always. Police. The non-HP. Okay, I did the chat now. So it's always. Not only we have Potterthon for all HP runs, but of course we have a Potterthon that's happening, well, starting from 2 years ago or a year ago. We made a new event called Potterthon that is for 2 years. Thanks, Miney. Damn, time flies. Ain't no way. But yeah, we made a new event called Potterthon that is for all Harry Potter runners that do unbelievable non-HP runs. So you can showcase any game as long as it's not related to Harry Potter at all. Well, I guess you can, technically, if they're magic and it's not related to Harry Potter himself. But yeah, the scandal, yes. Imagine Harry Potter runners doing not Harry Potter runs. Ain't no way, impossible. But yeah,
Silent Hill 2 comes out in like 2 weeks.
insane indeed. So yeah, that's it for Potterthon. Again, a small self-promotion, I guess, because it's a cool event. And starting from the last year, well, 2024, I guess, we were actually started also doing the Charity for Trevor project, because, well, Trevor project is cool. It helps out people, so why not to help them out as much as possible? So yeah, even Potterthon does the charity for Trevor project if, of course, you're interested in it. But yeah, starting from not really a long time ago, we also have that one. And of course, it's always Trevor project, the project that helps young LGBTQ people with educating them out, and of course, preventing the suicide. You know, some people having 24 hours, 7 days in a week helpline that is available for both phone, text, and chatting. You know, some people. As always, if you have the will, if you want to support, don't hesitate, because as I said previously, all lives matter, and of course, any donation also matters. Even the smallest, even $1, is gonna be helpful. And of course, we really close to our another milestone of beating Potterthon 8. And oh yeah, for our first Potterthon, we actually raised more money than Potterthon 9. That's insane. I'm proud of this community overall. We're raising a lot of money. But yeah, I'm sorry about the long lyrical talk.
Don't apologize.
What 400? What happened? Dino! Because yeah, the greatest Dino 95 HD just donated $20 towards the HP6 Potion Rush by Nikki. That's great. And also to Paul for Hufflepuff for upcoming Harry Potter. Oh, sorry, Harry Potter. I mean, sort of Harry Potter. Hogwarts Legacy run. And as far as I understand, that is gonna be the first day hard. Is it right? Am I understanding correctly that?
It's the first day, but it might not be hard. Stay tuned for more information.
Oh, mine is hiding something.
So I'm
there. Yeah, sorry. Okay, continue.
I'm gonna kind of interject here. So this is where our Whomping Willow skip comes in. So the easier way of doing this, which requires a save and quit, is basically we're gonna line up here, and then we're gonna fall, and then we're gonna do a lag skip. I might have done that too late. Yeah.
Loading screen hype.
So
Dina 95 HD 2024. I mean what? Sorry.
But there is another way of doing it that Blaze does it, and I believe Flo also does it. It's just there's a little piece at the end there that you can kind of like run and jump and go straight to the thing. It doesn't require like a save load or save quit, but this one is a lot easier to pull off. It's just you have to fix the camera afterwards. So this one you kind of have to guess. Just kind of run into the wall and press X and hope that you get it. But we are going to do our second lag skip, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but once you get it down, it's pretty easy to do. Once we get past the loading screen. And I love how the loading screen there kind of spoils what's going to happen later in the game, because you can see spider webs in the trees, which I only just recently noticed. So we'll do our save and quit. So basically this is kind of like what we were doing with the sickle skip earlier, and just kind of like resetting ourselves out so that we can, fix ourselves. Because, that's how you fix yourself in problems in the real world. You save, and then you quit. And then you come back in. Why spiders? Why couldn't it be follow the butterflies? So, it's funny because Rupert Grint's actually arachnophobic, but I'm also arachnophobic, and my friends keep making fun of me because it's actually my favorite level in the entire game. I don't know why I have this like thing with spiders in games where it's, I don't know, I kind of want to get scared. I have a couple of memories regarding spiders in games. So here we're going to do our lag skip. So right on that line there, the shadow is the cutscene trigger. So we're actually going to go up against here, if I can do it correctly. We gotta be really careful though. Gotta be like really slow about it. So right here, we're gonna climb up here. Gonna climb up here. Then we're gonna go through the tree here. So basically this skips like quite a bit. So normally we would have like a little mini boss fight there. And then once we're doing that, this tree, there'll be a cutscene where this tree falls. We basically just skip all that. And we're going straight to this Sky Trash fight, which genuinely gives me anger-inducing moments. Yeah. A bean! So yeah, with Sky Trashes, they're a little bit annoying to handle, just because, you know, they like to run around. And right as you're trying to get blue moss cast. Now sometimes they'll manage to get themselves stuck in a corner, which is really good for you, because, you know, that's just stupid AI being really convenient for you. But 9 times out of 10, they won't do it. So it's a lot harder. At least it's console, so we don't have the weird floor squares. Is there weird floor squares? No. Remember there being any. It might just be me not paying attention or me not running so much of emulator. So, thankfully, because we did get past that, we don't actually have to do the Wigging Wheel up there. So, basically means that we're just going straight to, you know, the thing. Right to the Whomping Willow, which has my second bit of favorite soundtrack from this series, which is the second half of the Whomping Willow fight. And there's a little bit of nostalgia with this as well, because I remember watching the DVDs as a kid, and they had like little clippets of the PS2 version of the game. So this is the one clip that I like remember. Yeah. So you're doing Willow fight skip, right? There's a Willow fight skip. There are some. There's not a whole lot of tutorials on here when it comes to HP2 runs or on PS2 runs, which means, hey, people, start running HP2 PS2. It's an easy run to get into. But I actually was not aware that there is a Willow skip. But also Willow is, you can do multiple hits. It's not as noticeable, but it is possible with this. But basically with a Willow, you're just staying in the corner, like you've been a bad boy. Insanely hard. I don't like hard glitches, that's why I usually do glitchless. There's certain games where like the glitches are easy enough that I'll actually do it. It's like, alright, it's an easy enough glitch to do that, you know, there's no effort involved. But yeah, typically I tend to do glitchless. Now I'm hoping that RNGesus doesn't mess with us.
Please.
Yeah, so typically, like, it's not really the left hand the one people usually shows, but I guess in this case it does. Yeah, with end day skip, this glitch is actually easier than 80%. Yeah, so in this case it's easier, like any percent is definitely easier. Like there's definitely some games where like 80% is probably a lot easier to do than glitchless. Definitely. I mean, that's typically what it is, but... And there we go. That was our last little bit of gameplay before what would normally be loading screens.
Thanks, Harry. Much appreciated. Oh, it was nothing. Anyway, we better get some...
Also, one thing I love to compare between this version and the Xbox and GameCube is how everybody has dead expressions on their faces. Yeah, so basically we go through here, we get a cutscene. We'll do the cutscene, and then I'm going to show off the glitch. Then, yeah. Skillet, do you have anything to add? I know.
Well, I do have something to say right now because, well, let's talk about a little bit about general of Potterthon event. So, who doesn't know anything about Potterthon? We are the charity event dedicated for games to show off Harry Potter games, since currently there are a lot of other charities not really being welcome to us. But overall, we are raising money for Trevor Project a lot, and by a lot I mean always, because they are cool people. And time to time we are having other specifically cool themed marathons, such as Potterthon, that is about Harry Potter runners not doing Harry Potter. Really fun stuff. And of course, if you want to check out the runs, for example, the one you sadly missed but wanted to see, or you want to check out our other past events, YouTube, YT just to access the Potterthon slash Pottergon YouTube channel that I think it only has Potterthon. Yeah, is it the Potterthon slash Pottergon 1? If of course you're interested. And of course, please don't forget to donate in case you want to do so. All the money goes to charity and will always do so. So it will only go directly to Trevor Project to help them out with what they're trying to accomplish. That's it for me. If you have something to say, well...
Well, I do. So we're actually going to be doing the end day skip now. So normally, when we're there at Hogwarts, we will have made a save there, just because for the second time we're not. So what we do is we load the save at the burrow that we made after we were finished with the gnomes. Then we hit quit game, and then we go to load game, and then we go to whatever save we have at Hogwarts. So in this case, we're going to be doing the Chamber of Secrets. This is from like that particular one's from a casual playthrough from like years ago. But just for the sake of time, we are skipping that because this is basically what we're going to be looking at for the next like 20 minutes if we weren't doing it, if we were doing it like that. So once we get loaded into the Chamber of Secrets, I'll basically show that, hey, look, we got end day now. You just skip everything. The speedrun was so fast, we skipped the entire game. So yeah, corner there, end day, hit that. Another name for this speedrun would be Slytherin %. Which, go me, because I am a Slytherin. Yeah, so I think...
Slytherin.
Hey, Listen, we're cunning and we're ambitious. It's the two best character traits.
Saying Pog.
Poggers.
Leave me alone.
So this is the last cutscene that we have before the end of the run. And then the run officially ends once we hit the Great Hall door and the loading screen pops up. You know, start on a loading screen, end on a loading screen. This whole run is basically based around loading screens. Eat, sleep, dream, loading screens. I love how we can skip this cutscene as well. Can we skip this cutscene? Is this another complex skip that we're doing?
Skip the cutscene, skip the cutscene.
So long though.
Well, at least we can sleep during them.
Right. And we're gonna on 3, 2, 1, end time. And that is our run.
GG's.
GG's. We did it. We did it. Mostly loading screens.
That was the best run. That was really cool show off of loading screen. I really like it. It's beautiful. Jokes aside, really great job showing off this on the actual hardware. That's the hardware, not hardware.
Hey, listen.
Oh, the brain is dying.
You want your console runs on hardware from 24 years ago? We got it. But yeah, no, I honestly want to thanks everyone for having me. Obviously, Slytherin still won, so you know for that. And yeah, thank you guys for having me. It was great. The Trevor Project is such a great charity. I've always been supportive of it. You know, it just helps people out, you know, that definitely need it, the very vulnerable communities. And I don't know, I'm terrible at coming up with these things. But next up we do have Complex Beaver, a fellow Canadian. I believe he's doing HP1.
Hey, spoiler in my job, KW.
I mean, it was on the intermission.
I mean, we are not that behind to be fast about intermission. So yeah, as always, please check out the runner if you liked them. And of course, stick around a little bit longer because we'll be back after the small intermission. And we are gonna watch the greatest Complex Beaver, as wheezus said from the fellow Canadian for them. And Beaver is doing some Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone. The list on GBC. Oh, Philosopher, yeah. Sorry, we are Canadians right now. But yeah, Philosopher's Stone, GBC, oh my lord, GameCube. Oh, that's gonna be so fun. But yeah, we'll be back just in a bit. So stay tuned and bye-bye for now.
Well, once again.